Yeah.
How's it going, everyone? This is the Anime Man. Now, I'm not usually the one to chase after trends on the internet or trends in the anime community, but sometimes you just see a story surrounding a particular trend and you just have to cover it and give your opinions on it because it's just like, what? If you've been on the internet for the past week or so, then you most certainly have come across a particular kawaii anime caricature by the name of Bowsette. For those of you who don't have a Twitter account or have somehow spent the past week with zero internet connection whatsoever, which is a lie, let's be honest, you weebs need internet more than you need water, then allow me to explain this odd trend that has just kind of exploded onto the scenes. Bowsette is the fictional accumulation of the Super Mario Bros. Villain Bowser and the Princess of the Mushroom Kingdom, Princess Peach. The result being born from a recent announcement of a new item in the upcoming Mario game, the Super Crown, that turns characters of the Mushroom Kingdom into human princesses. Now, that announcement was fine and all until a certain Twitter account by the name of Haniwa posted this comic strip, showing Bowser using the Super Crown to turn into a Princess Turtle Dark Lord weirdly sexy hybrid. And this was the moment that the internet kinda had a stroke. 1 week later, the internet in Japan and the West has been absolutely bullet hole riddled with fan art, comics, and of course a bunch of sweet hentai from all artists from all across the world who are out here appreciating the But it seems that this trend has kind of escalated to an even higher level of intelligence, as there are famous manga artists on Twitter who are kind of sinking their teeth into the Bowsette trend and drawing pictures of Bowsette, which, not gonna lie, is a very rare yet equally fucking awesome case. But this is where the situation just enters a level of what I can only describe as absurd. Recently, a story emerged on the internet of a rumor that there are some people in Japan who are going to give Bowsette her own convention. Yes, you heard me correctly. An entire convention for one non-canon Nintendo character that was created a week ago. And only just today, it turns out that those rumors are in fact true. The convention, titled Project Crown, is set to be a one-day convention opening on October the 27th at the Kawasaki Municipal Industrial Promotional Hall in Kawasaki, Japan. The Bowsette-centered convention will feature fan artists, doujin artists, hentai artists, and of course, a cosplay and a crossplay fair. I can't believe this. Do you understand, ladies and gentlemen, just how fucking absurd this shit is? This non-canon anime-esque character was created only about a week ago, and it has created such a large societal and cultural movement in the nerdy internet culture and otaku culture that it has warranted itself an entire convention to its name. What dimension am I in? Now let me just say this up front for those of you who are a little bit skeptical about how I'm going with this video. I have absolutely no problem with Bowsette as a character or as a trend. In fact, if you've been following me on my Twitter, which if you haven't yet, you totally should, what are you doing? I'll wait. Just open up your Twitter, just go follow me. Yeah, I know a lot of you haven't. You know, just go do that. I'll wait. Then you would see that I have liked basically every single Bowsette-centered thing, whether that be fan art, cosplay, whatever it is, that pops up on my feed. In fact, I even tweeted out a link to a Dumbboarded page that has a collection of all the Bowsette fan art and hentai that has ever been created up until this point, because I was sick and tired of all these motherfuckers on Twitter who keep re-uploading Bowsette fan art without properly crediting the artists, and if you do that, then, excuse my French, you're a bit of a cunt. Share lewds responsibly, kids. But when it comes to this whole Bowsette convention thing, I'm kind of torn on both sides, to be honest. Look, I get it. Bowsette, Boosette, Chain Chompette, whatever other fucking Super Crown character out there, they're all cute and cool and all, I get that. Even though they're clearly riding on the Gijinka train, which just doesn't know how to die quietly, in my opinion. But seeing Japan coming in and trying to milk this trend out to basically the extremes, considering that we've never had a story like this to begin with, is kind of conflicting in my opinion, because we've been seeing time and time again of Japan taking a trend and milking it out to the most absolute of extremes just so that they can make a quick buck out of it while they can. For example, look what happened to the pen, pineapple, apple pen trend. Did I just give some of you millennials some PTSD flashbacks? You're welcome. If you were on the internet during that time, then you would know that Japan milked this shit out so much to the point where they even went out of their way to create a one-time pen, pineapple, apple pen cafe. And you know I'm not making this shit up because I went to the pen, pineapple, apple pen cafe in a video on this channel, and let me just tell you, if you didn't watch that video, this shit was just as stupid and absurd as it sounds. Also, the motherfuckers copyright claimed my video, so I'm not making a cent out of it, so fuck them to the second degree. But unsurprisingly, after the doors of the cafe closed, do you remember what happened to the pen, pineapple, apple pen trend? Like any good meme on the internet, it died and disappeared from all of our minds without a trace. When it comes to milking out trends for a profit, I feel Japan especially is one of the worst culprits when it comes to overexploitation. So many businesses, organizations, and companies just love to just grab any straw that is dangled in front of their face and suck it so hard that all of the water just evaporates from it. And do it for so hard and long that they don't realize until it's too late that there is in fact no water in the straw, and so they leave no choice but to throw it out and pick the next one up. Look, I get it, Japan. You love Bowsette. We all do. I get it. But making a convention out of it, it's pretty fucking absurd if you think about it. Because think about it like this, right? The Bowsette thing only was created a week ago and it's already excelled to this point. And the convention that is about to be held for Bowsette is going to open over 3 weeks from now, almost 4 weeks from now as of the recording of this video. Don't you think by that time the trend would be dead? We've seen so many internet trends come and go throughout our lives over the past decade or so, and I can tell just from experiencing so many births and deaths of all these memes that the faster and harder a trend grows, the equally faster and harder that trend is going to die. It's like the Newton's third law of memes. I mean, look how short-lived the fidget spinner trend was, regardless of how hard it was going about the internet. Or the aforementioned pen, pineapple, apple pen trend. Or what about the Ugandan Knuckles meme? The Salt Bay meme? The Tide Pod memes?
I could do this all fucking day, boys.
I would argue that these trends and memes are beautiful because they are so short-lived and they're so enclosed within the spaces of the internet culture that knows how to share it, knows how to grow it, and knows exactly when things have gone too far or when it's time for us to put a meme down and start up a new one. Look, I can already tell there are probably a bunch of people watching this video thinking that I'm a fucking petty dude and, oh, you're just upset and mad about a thing that's popular and you're just hating on it because it's popular for views, blah, blah, blah. But, hey, that's just my prerogative, my dude. At least I'm not sitting here making 20 videos in a row, just going through my Twitter feed being like, hey, look, a Bowsette art. Cool, right? Alright, like and subscribe. I'm all for the Bowsette trend. In fact, I think it's fucking awesome. Like, why would I be upset about looting something that was otherwise seen as unlootable? But making an entire convention for that one trend is just, I don't know about you, just the next level of milking out, which I just honestly cannot get behind. Not to mention that this convention for Bowsette is most likely going to be a for-profit convention. In other words, there are going to be doujin artists and merch sellers who will be getting some kind of monetary profit off of it, whether that be through selling their art books, selling their art, selling their tickets at the door, selling other merch, creating, business connections and whatnot, long-term investments. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if Nintendo is necessarily going to be all that okay with that. I mean, I'm sure it's pretty clear at this point just how ruthless Nintendo can be when it comes to copyrighted materials. And yes, although Bowsette herself isn't exactly a canon Nintendo character, it still does use assets from official Nintendo property. So I'm not saying there is going to be, but there could very well be the possibility that Nintendo is going to bring the ban hammer down on a convention like this, especially if it's going to be for profit behind the backs of Nintendo employees. But I mean, who knows? Nintendo might actually be completely okay with this and just take a convention like this and a trend like this as just free marketing for their upcoming games. But I'm just not too sure, considering that I've seen reports of official Nintendo employees denying to give any comments about the Bowsette trend when asked about it. So suffice it to say that they're probably not 100% okay with this trend in its entirety. If anything, knowing the scope of how these giant Japanese corporations tend to act when it comes to internet trends like this, and I know this from working with some of these companies firsthand, I don't think they take all of these things seriously, and especially I don't think they take these things positively all that much. Now, I'm not saying all Japanese companies are like that. I'm not necessarily saying that Nintendo is like that, but there could be a chance that Nintendo is like that based off of their history. I just feel that the Bowsette trend has gotten so massive to this point that if Nintendo comes out and hits a ban hammer on anything that has to do with Bowsette, then that's just gonna hurt Nintendo's name in the process. They're basically just flushing themselves down the toilet by doing that, and that is probably not a very good marketing and business idea for Nintendo at this current time, considering that they're making so many new games and they're at a point in their company's career that is being very, very profitable thanks to the Nintendo Switch and all of these IPs that are kind of coming back into the limelight. But hey, who the fuck knows? I don't work at Nintendo. This convention might be a massive success. I don't know. I might even try and make a trip out there just to go see it with my own eyes. In the meantime, I'm just gonna keep liking and keep giving some of these artists who are drawing Bowsette some attention over on my Twitter because I appreciate the thickness. And I'm gonna keep on doing that until this trend dies in a fire with a spectacle like every good meme does on the internet. In the meantime, let me know what you guys think about this whole Bowsette trend and just Bowsette as a character, Bowsette getting her own convention and all that kind of stuff. What is your favorite Bowsette or Super Crown character iteration? And more importantly, what do you think about the whole overexploitation of internet trends from a marketing perspective? Do you think there is a quantifiable limit to what is considered milking out or just going way too far to milk out a trend? And if there is a point like that, then where would that be? Like, what would someone have to do for it to just be a little bit too much milking out, too absurd, too stupid? Is it the point where the official company makes a comment about it? Or is it the point where, for example, they create an entire convention out of the trend? I'm really interested to hear what you guys think about all of that, so make sure to let me know all that kind of stuff in the comments below. And again, I apologize if this wasn't the Bowsette video that you all on Twitter and Twitch and all of that were requesting for me to say and make a video on. I just didn't want to make another lol Bowsette memes, am I right? Like and subscribe kind of video that every other person on the internet has already done, because I always want to try and go into these kinds of topics and requested ideas and stuff like that from a different angle. It makes it so that I have more fun making the video, and it makes it hopefully a little bit more interesting for you guys watching the video. So if you enjoyed this video, then thank you very much. And if you do have any other topics or ideas, news about otaku culture, Japan, anything like that, then the best place to do it is over on Twitter. So again, if you haven't followed me on there, even though I warned you early in the video, then go do that and tweet me some of your articles and suggestions that I should make a video on. And even if you don't necessarily have any ideas or video ideas that you want from me, then hey, follow me on Twitter so you can see all of that sweet, sweet thickness of Bowsette. Anyways guys, thanks for watching. As always, like and favorite if you enjoy, subscribe for more banner, and I'll see you guys next video of whatever I make. Keep watching anime. Ciao!